What's going on? This is Prankins Duelist. I ended up getting 22nd place at my Arizona Regional playing 60 card Rescue Ace. I believe I ended up hinting at this on my last deck profile. If not, you've seen me like slowly start increasing the deck count. And it's because a lot of different versions of this this deck lose to specific interaction points. However, if you just melded all of them together, you can play through 3, 4, 5 hand traps fairly easily. I played through like 3 or 4 interruptions really easily in this deck all day today. Whether it be negates, whether it be hand traps, whether it be like weird Rescue Ace mirrors. I played one Rescue Ace mirror. I ended up losing to that because, the hand that I had was 2 Warrior Extenders, Thrust Talents, and what was the last one? It was Turbulence, I believe.
I thought you said it was Fire Attacker.
No, I think it was Turbulence because I had Turbulence in my hand the whole time. And I went into Isolde. The problem was when I summoned Fireflint Lady, I used its effect to summon instead of using it afterwards. So instead of being able to make SP during my opponent's turn, after he went and drolled me, I had to pass. The funniest part is, like, his hand was Droll, Ash, Prosperity, Diabell Star, and Airlifter. So I had to play perfectly to deal with that hand, and I just didn't. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go into the deck profile now. We're going to go ahead and look into this. So I'm going to start with the main engine, Rescue Ace, 3 Hydrant. I got my CRs happily enough. 3 Impulse. This is 60 cards, full reason to run Impulse. 1 Monitor, again, 60 cards, you can get away with this. On top of this, the fact that it's a hand trap is insane. Airlifter, 1 card combo, Fire Attacker, Fire Engine, 2 Preventer, 2 Turbulence, 2 HQ. This comes up a lot, especially when it comes to grind games like back row decks. I didn't play against any back row decks today. The closest I got to that was Flu, and I ended up winning to that one. But you need the second HQ because it's really, really important to start cycling names. Alert, Rescue, 3 Emergency, Reinforce, Extinguish, and Contain. Reinforce is amazing in this deck, mainly because there are times when you use your alert but you don't banish it. So if you had the Reinforce, you can reset the alert during your opponent's turn, search for a starter for the next turn, on top of like Emergency getting a starter for that turn, so you can search like HQ and then another Airlifter. And you just climb advantage really, really easily, and you don't even have to use your normal summon, which is how I managed to beat a lot of the Flu games. Which I only played 1 Flu today, but there's a local guy at my area, and all he does is play Flu, so I have a really good understanding of that deck.
There's 2.
There's 2, yeah. I only play 1. I don't think I've played the other Flu guy. Diabell Star package, I run 3 Diabell Star, 2 Snake Eye, and 3 Wanted. The few times that I did brick with this deck, because this is 60 cards, you're going to brick. It was off of 1 Spoils and no normal summon. So in the future, I might reduce the Spoils count, specifically because if you don't have a normal summon, this isn't that good. Or Diabell Star, obviously. 1 Fireflint Lady. I went down from 3. The reason is because Fireflint Lady is really, really good. However, it's only really good if you draw into certain pieces, like the Renauds or the Durandals. Like if you open up Durandal and Fireflint Lady, it's functionally your Airlifter combo. Or if you open up 2 Renaud and a Durandal, you can search for the Fireflint Lady and just get like free advantage out of it. So, you can summon the Fireflint Lady off of Isolde, and then use this to search for your additional name, and it just wins you games. And then now that I'm done with the non-engine, or with the engine. We're going to show off the non-engine. 3 Drolls. This did a lot of work. A lot of this deck is singular 1-for-1s and just getting slight advantage off of everything. So being able to shut an opponent down off of one specific type of interaction is very important, including adding cards to the hand. So Droll is very, very good. 3 Ash. Ash is awesome. Obviously, you have to run it. Rhoda, 1-for-1, and then 3 Droplet. I barely used this today. The biggest thing that happened today is in my final round, I'm X2. I'm playing against Synchron, and he ends on a board of Dissipator, Excel Synchro, Baron, 2 Tuners, and a face down. I normal summon Airlifter, and he uses Baron, and I chain Droplet, sending the Airlifter, a card in my hand, and a Turbulence in my hand, negating his 3 monsters. I know one of them was a spell, so that he can't just tag out Excel. And then the last card in my hand was a Tactics Talent, which drew me into 1-for-1 and Preventer, and it just took it away from there. 3 Prosperity, you need consistency. 3 Thrust, you need consistency. 2 Talent, you need consistency. You lose to hand traps a lot, so you have to run these. And going second, Thrust is the best card in the deck. Extra deck. Linkuriboh, really good card. I make this almost every single game, sadly enough. 2 Isoldes, seeing both of them does come up, so I do run both. And then the one tech that I've been really liking, the Ferocious Flame Swordsman. So basically this means that if I open up with Renaud, and like Hydrant or something, I can still do my warrior line on top of other stuff. So it wins a lot of games. Best extra deck card in the format. IP, Hida, Sunlight Wolf. I actually never made this. I understand the reason why you want to run this, and it's because you want to have those good 1-for-1s. And there are times when you need it. But this deck has evolved so much that I'm actually considering taking it out. And I think it gets a lot better if you're playing like 40 card versions, but the 60 card version, you just want an extending piece. So I'm thinking it might go into that Typhon or maybe something else like a generic Link 3, like the Scareclaw Link 3, which by the way, I did end up taking out from the last list. Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn. I made these almost every single game, or at least a variation of them. Trisbana, Axis Code, Appaloosa, and Underworld Goddess. Never made Underworld Goddess, made Appaloosa once, never made Trisbana, because I didn't play anything back row, not even like Labyrinth. And I made Axis Code almost every match, if not every game. Side deck. This is where it gets weird because a lot of this side deck I never saw at all. But D-Shifters, Fenrir's, Nibiru's, Twin Twisters, and Evenly's. I wanted to have like hand traps that I can fluctuate, or cards that I can fluctuate in between with the cards that brick in my main deck, or cards that aren't as good. Like if I'm going second, I don't need a second Talents. I have Thrust to search for that. I'm getting a draw. So I'm going to see something like that. So I can take a Talents out. I can replace it for a Fenrir. And that's functionally another interaction piece that I could draw into. Or I saw Shifter once, I believe. And I was winning that game anyway. Nibiru's I never saw. It never resolved, so I couldn't say whether or not they were good. Twins are amazing. I played against Flu. I've played against Rescue Ace. Twins win games. And then evenly matched, I never played once. I thought about it like a couple of times, like thrusting into it. But then I would thrust into like Talents or Rhoda or 1-for-1 and just win the game off of that anyway. So I never made it evenly, mainly because there was no reason for me to. Otherwise, in regards to like matchup points, the matchups that I ended up facing against was Rescue Ace, and then it was Exosister. So I lost in round 1 to Rescue Ace. It was a very bad turn of events, but long story short, I was just stuck in a situation where I couldn't do anything in game 3. I played against Exosister, and then I played against Watts for some reason. The Watt guy was 2-1 in round 3, which I was surprised with. It was really cool. Round 4 was... Gosh, I can't remember. I think I like 2-0'd him really quick. Oh no, round 4 was a Flunder player, and he didn't understand the concept of what Ryza did. So he targeted 2 cards on my field and a shifter, and he thought he could add the shifter back to hand. And it got us into time, like a time extension of like 13 minutes, and I ended up killing him because of that. Just because an extra 13 minutes in regards to a time extension because he didn't understand how Ryza worked. Round 5 was against my teammate, Jordan. Game 1, he was playing Dino FTK, by the way. So game 1, he won the die roll. I knew that he would win, but I knew that my Ash, if I did it right, would end up giving me a turn, which would have been more important. So I Ashed him at the incorrect time, but he didn't have the extender to go ahead and get him past that. So he ended up passing on Dulka and like a Scrap Wyvern. And I took full advantage of it and killed him that turn. And then game 2, I opened no hand traps and he had the FTK. And game 3, I opened up Thrust, Fire Engine. I think it was Turbulence, Renat or something. And then I was top decking Snake Eyes. So there was nothing I could do going first. Round 6 was Volcanic FTK. I have no idea why I played against so many FTK decks. Game 1, he FTK'd me. Game 2, I OTK'd him after setting up my board. And then game 3, he summoned Fenrir, normal chill, and passed. And it just won me the game. Round 7 was Infernoble, which game 1, I just set up my board and he scooped immediately. And then game 2, I ashed the Isolde and he didn't have the extender. And then round 8 was against Synchron, which he got game 1 because I opened like all of my thrusts and all of my traps. I opened all 3 traps in my hand for some reason, as well as 2 thrusts. And I was top decking a thrust as well. So I literally had no interaction pieces. Game 2, I set up a board and OTK'd him afterwards. And then game 3, he set up that big board that I described that required me to droplet. And then I dropleted the board and won from there. So that was pretty much it. I got 22nd place playing 60 card Rescue Ace. So yeah, I'm really tired. We're doing this literally the night of. But thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
It won't stop.
Give it.